journaling.
Journals.
Who gives a fuck? When I first heard of journaling, I really just thought it was just people with glasses and receding hairlines pretending to be deep and mysterious. That they had so many thoughts that they had to express themselves.
What a bunch of pussies.
I know, right? So to see what all the hype was about, I did a 365-day experiment of journaling. And at the end of the video, I'll go over my results and whether it's a complete waste of time or not. By the way, I love you, Nathaniel. You don't need a life-changing traumatization to need an outlet. At the beginning of 2021, I was at my wit's end. I always felt insecure about my body, which led to an unnecessary gym obsession. I was constantly questioning my character and whether people really even liked me, and which really came down to just a lack of self-love. I was always anxious about the future, and I was always reflecting on bad, cringy moments in my life that just made me feel bad about myself. And worse yet, falling into pits of existentialism and nihilism that just doesn't allow me to escape my mind. So what do, right? In a world full of personal development where we're filled with plant drinks, herbivore diets, omnivore diets, cannibalism diets, meditation, mindfulness, and all these different things, right? So I thought I'd put my pride aside and I'd try journaling out. Leonardo da Vinci, Frida Kahlo, Michael Phelps, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and so many influential people have used journaling as a tool. It's like a therapist on a notepad that allows them to express their anxieties and thoughts while also helping them predict their own future. It's kind of spooky, no? According to the Journal of Mental Health Counseling, journaling has been proven to reduce stress, sharpen memory, improve mindfulness, and improve mood. Not to mention that it also increases testosterone rates by 500 milligrams per deciliter. One of those things that I mentioned may or may not be true. Think of it as like a puzzle. You have to treat it like a puzzle. Our mind is just filled with a bunch of different puzzle pieces, right? And those puzzle pieces are our thoughts and ideas, our worries, anxieties. And in your head, they're just jumbled up all around, and there's no sense to any of it really. Naturally, we're able to put some of it together, but there's still a lot that we just can't figure out just by just not expressing it or by using a tool to try and put this puzzle together. But usually we only get a quarter of the way done, if that, in our head, and we just make a final conclusion based off that picture of the puzzle that we see. Journaling is such a broad action because everyone swears that they have their own technique that is the most efficient way for someone to journal that's gonna maximize their returns. And it can be intimidating because it's like, what if I'm doing this whole journaling thing wrong and I'm just kind of like wasting my time and maybe I'm missing out on all these different benefits? And at that point, is it really even worth it for me to even be
Journaling, because it's like I'm wasting my time right now, and it's like, I don't.
Shut up.
After watching tons of journaling videos and doing this shit for a year, there are only a few tips that you really need to get started. Number 1, simplify your entries. Only spend 5 minutes when you're first starting out just journaling. You probably spend more time posting thirst traps on IG. Number 2, make topics in your journal. Feeling sad? Put it in the journal. Feeling inspired? Put it in the journal. The point is, with these topics, you gotta make these things like columns of thoughts that you could just express. Our brains have some pattern, and by recognizing our own individual pattern, we can organize these thoughts into columns. Number 3, start off small and lower your expectations, both on your journal entries and the results that you're gonna see right away based off your journal. I know, we've all heard it, but it's the beauty's in the process here. Results won't happen overnight, but if you keep persisting and you keep showing dedication to this journal, these proven benefits will be shown. Number 4, if you can't think what to write, the best alternative is gratitude. So, okay, have you guys seen the show Big Mouth? And in the show, they have this gratitude who's like always going around and telling people what like they should be grateful for. So basically just do that. If you can't think of what you can write, we all have something that we can write because we all have something to be grateful for. Naval Ravikant said on Joe Rogan, and I'm paraphrasing here, but a healthy person wants 100 and some things, while a sick person only wants one thing. Find something that you're grateful for because damn sure they are there. Finally, number 5 is make your journal messy. Perfection is a myth in this game, and if you keep trying to chase it, the more you're just gonna keep getting discouraged. Just remember, if you're too worried about your thoughts being too messy on the page, and that's why you're choosing to not write, because maybe your thoughts are just kind of going everywhere, so you don't want to just like write a bunch of nonsense on a page. If it looks crazy on a paper and you're not using that outlet to actually express those thoughts, imagine how crazy and disorganized it is in your own head. Like, it is crazy. Like, we have so many different thoughts, and if we just keep it up in here, it's just gonna keep getting more and more jumbled together. It's like when you get like your headphones, the actual like earphones that have like the wire and shit, and you like put them in your pocket and like they somehow get tangled as like it's like that, but with your thoughts and way more. And yeah, I found myself getting anxious for the littlest of things and not understanding why. I never considered myself to be an anxious person, but I'm also learning that I think that's just part of becoming an adult. We have more responsibility than ever, and it's like we've been sitting in the backseat our whole lives, and now suddenly we're in the driver's seat doing 90 on the freeway. Yeah, it's fun, but like one sneeze and we are done. I used to work in a doctor's office, just really doing like paperwork. But every single day, people would walk through those doors having a prescription for an anti-anxiety or antidepressant drug. Specifically, 1 out of 6 people. The weirdest part is that I wouldn't expect most of any of the people to need a pill just to get through the day, because they seem like happy people and they seem like they had their shit together and they had a lot going for them. But really just goes to show how full of shit we really are. I'm not saying to not take your pills or whatever, but there has to be some other way. We hear and see the romanticization of mental illness all around us, and yeah, maybe that is a place where the best art comes from, and some of us think that it makes us more deep and mysterious, so we borderline kind of like it. But being depressed and anxious doesn't make you interesting, it just makes you sad. So I made it a point to try and journal for 5 to 10 minutes every single day for a year. At first I felt like I had to journal pages on end, damn near write a book. But what I found to be more helpful was that on my less good days, I would just write out what my problem was, just let it out. These days were actually the easiest to journal because it actually made sense to. But when I was having a great day and the feeling of journaling just felt unnecessary and honestly just felt like a chore, but I decided to write what I could and write what is good. Oh shit, that rhymes. But little did I know at the time that writing on these good days were crucial. Here's why. So we can never really conceptualize a good day if we never have a bad day to compare it to. Here's the thing, documenting the good gives us a spark of hope, especially on the days where that spark seems scarce. Every day we receive negative energy, stress, anxiety, and just a bunch of emotions. Whether that thing is a big deal, small deal, we still experience it. And let's not pretend like social media doesn't contribute to that. And it can feel like the walls of our livelihood and mental state are just collapsing from the inside in. And it feels like there's nothing that we can do about it. But by just using a pen and paper, we could just release those thoughts and anxieties. Almost as if you're trapping these thoughts onto a harmless 2D piece of paper. Or even using your notes app. Or better yet, using today's sponsor, Notion. Just kidding, no one's paying me shit to do these videos, but if you haven't checked out Notion already, I highly recommend it. It's just an easy way and perfect way to just be able to express your ideas and thoughts. Really easy way to just organize your thoughts too, so shout out the homie Strive for putting me on. Emotions are temporary, and by writing them down, maybe we can gain a new perspective. We could realize how unreasonable some of our anxieties can be, and better yet, get a new insight into what the exact source is for our anxiety in the first place. Psychologists at Queen's University found that humans, on average, have about 6,200 thoughts per day. That is fucking nuts, man. Like, they honestly could be making this number up, and they sound pretty convincing, but the point is that we need an outlet for these thoughts, because it's not like every single thought that we have is good for us by no stretch of the imagination. If we just lock up these thoughts and carry them around with us in our head, those negative thoughts and emotions will only leak and bleed in how we treat other people. People who also have their own daily mental obstacles. Good ideas, life-changing ideas could just die in an instant if they only exist in your head. It's funny how we're always looking for external advice on a life that is so unique to only ourselves, yet not even considering that we may know more about ourselves than we may actually think or give ourselves credit for. And what I've really learned is just that journaling can be a great place to organize the chaos. My biggest hurdle when I was trying to start journaling was just finding a starting point. I think I'm always obsessed with being a perfectionist in some type of way, and so I feel like even my thoughts have to be perfect in how they're laid out, and so it makes sense to anybody who tries to read them. But that's really the beauty of just being able to journal is like no one gives a fuck about what you're thinking. Like it's all about you. Like you're the only one who's gonna read that. You're the only one who's gonna make sense to, and that's all you have to prove yourself to. It only needs to make sense to you. I could keep listing all the different benefits like all the other people here on YouTube usually do, but just like everything in the self-help and personal development realm, it's really as simple as just doing it. There is no proper way or specific way in which you need to do it, because they're your thoughts and only your thoughts. By journaling, you're really just having a conversation with yourself and being able to ask yourself more questions, and maybe this can give you a better understanding of yourself. I'm a very simplistic man. I love street tacos, pizza, boobs, and Kanye, you know, the finer things in life, but it doesn't take long, and if it isn't helping me de-stress, it's probably cementing my vision for the future. And if on that certain day I have no motivation or inspiration, journaling is something that I can say that I did it. I had the discipline to do something that I didn't want to do today. And that, my friends, can make all the difference. So thank you guys for watching my video. My name is Andres, and if you would please subscribe, like this video, comment something, and yeah, check you guys out in the next video. Peace.